So we are recording. Let's do it. I'll do a clap and then you can do a clap. Just make sure it's in screen, otherwise it doesn't work. Okay, I didn't hear that. That's weird. Do it again.
I'm delayed.
You'll be delayed for you, for sure. Do
Okay,
it again
all right.
for me. I think it might be a...
Oh, I was waiting for you to stop.
Okay, I think we'll work around it. It'll be fine. You will be delayed on yourself because it's going through like 3 systems before it comes back
Oh,
to you, and
that's okay.
also for the echo delay. So I'm wearing headphones, but I don't know if you are, and I'm not worried about anyone else. I'm quite an unprofessional podcaster.
I'm happy to
Somebody
wear
said I haven't got a
headphones if you
microphone. I'm
require
like,
it.
I don't care. So did I ask if you had a microphone? You're clever. That's all I want. That's it.
All right, awesome.
Cool. Okay, so I will do a little introduction, but just so that we feel comfortable. So, welcome to that analytics podcast. Sorry, Louise was moving herself up and down on screen for those who listen. Welcome to that analytics podcast, and my guest today is the amazing Louise Brogan, who is not only my business hero, but is also a good friend. So, welcome to the show.
So much, Amanda. Oh my goodness, what way to start?
Now, we've known each other for a good few years now, and I think when I first got to know you, that was the moment that you were beginning to transform into becoming just the LinkedIn specialist. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Mm.
But I'd also like to talk about where this all started. How did you get into marketing? What was your path there? Because I think lots of us started in a completely different career.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So back in the day, I was originally a software engineer. Then I worked in health service as an IT project manager. And it's a bit of a long rambling story, which we're not going to go into in depth. But basically, I had 3 children, and was working part-time in the health service in my IT project management role. And I was ready to step up to the next level of my career. And I was told that that would not be happening unless I went back to work full time. And I didn't want to go back to work full time because I had one child about to start primary school, one starting nursery school, and a tot at home. And I didn't want to be at work I didn't want to be out of the house from 8 till 6 every day. And lots of people choose that, and I have no problem with that. It just wasn't the choice for me. So I had to start thinking, what else am I going to do? And I started my first proper business, Amanda, was actually a craft shop. I actually met somebody this morning and they said to me, are you still doing crafts? I was like, oh no, not even recreationally. I knew I wanted to have a business, and my sister was really good at card making. And I thought, why don't we start card making classes? And I ended up opening a shop selling paper craft supplies while working in the health service. So it was exhausting and being a mum to these 3 kids. But I did manage to get the kids from school and nursery and all that stuff. But after about a couple of years in the shop, somebody from the local council came to see me and to go through my books and to give me some support with my business. And within half an hour, she just turned to me and she said, Louise, how are you with honest feedback? And I was like, I am here for it. Give me the honest feedback. Like, I was struggling. And she said, this business is not, you're not even paying yourself. You're not, it's not really thriving, and you're exhausting yourself. And look at these numbers, look at those numbers. She said, but actually, you're really good at Facebook. This was back, Amanda, in 2013, when most small businesses knew they should probably have a Facebook page, but didn't really know what they should be doing on there. And she says, I think actually you could take your skill set and you could help other small businesses with how to use social media. And that's where it all began. So thank you so much to that lady, Nuala, who started me down this path. I was so lucky I was able to get out the lease for my shop really quickly, closed the shop, didn't quit my job for another 2 years because I'm very risk averse and I didn't want to just, and I needed to build up a social media business. But that's how it started. And I don't have any marketing qualifications. I do have a master's in computing, but that was like programming and, you know, coding and stuff. That wasn't to do with marketing. And in the health service, I was basically helping nurses implementing software programs for nurses and social workers who needed to, become digitized. So no marketing background there either. That's
I
kind of
think
how I
our
got to.
stories are quite parallel because I went down a route. I want to start a business, started a business, and realized that actually what I was good at was the digital marketing piece. And I started with
Yeah.
Facebook too. So why then you started with Facebook? Why the transition to just focusing on LinkedIn?
So when I started building the social media business, I did Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Back then, we didn't have all those other things like TikTok and stuff. And I actually ended up working with Facebook and Instagram on their She Means Business program. So I used to host events in Northern Ireland for the She Means Business program. But I started working with, everything changed for me when I started to invest in my business and invest in coaching. And I was working with a coach out of the US who I met through podcasting. And like I've been in business 10 years, so there's lots and lots of moving parts to all of this. But she suggested that to stand out in my space, I could consider niching down to one platform. And I had started to speak locally at business events. And I remember I was in a room at the council, and there's about 100 people there, and they're mainly men in suits from my memory. And it was like a management institute type event. And I was there to speak about social media. And the guys on the floor just kept asking me about LinkedIn. And I was like, oh, don't really know much about LinkedIn. So I thought, I should start learning about LinkedIn because these guys have a bit more money than my lovely clients who are kebab shop owners and Pilates class owners and people like that who are also lovely, wonderful clients. And I started looking into LinkedIn, and it just all kind of fell into place that this is back in 2018, I want to say. Nobody wanted to touch LinkedIn. So it was a wide open market, so I started learning more about how to use LinkedIn. I realized on LinkedIn, I got clients far quicker than I got on the other social media platforms. And I got clients who had money to spend on their marketing. So that was lots of different reasons why. But that's where I kind of stuck my flag in the sand for LinkedIn. And it was so good, Amanda, because then I started to niche down into learning everything about one platform. So I didn't have to worry about the updates on all the other platforms. I started to write articles about LinkedIn, like really in-depth articles about LinkedIn. My podcast switched to LinkedIn. It was just became easy because I only had to consider one platform. And it absolutely paid off because, as you know, nowadays, a lot of people want to know about LinkedIn. And there's a lot of people who are LinkedIn experts and consultants around, but I've been doing it longer. So that's nice.
You got in at exactly the right time when LinkedIn was still a little bit boring, I'm going to say, because now we know it's like a fun network, but back then it was a lot more sedate. So you've grown with it, I'm guessing.
Yes, but actually, interestingly, my clients are a lot of them are professional B2B companies who don't want to be creating fun videos. They want to be creating, quite serious videos. And I explain how it works and how to test out different things. But a lot of my clients, hire us because you know, they want to be seen as professional, serious B2B companies. They are in financial services, they are in learning and development, they are white collar businesses, a lot of them, and that's how they want to be represented. So yeah, I have wonderful coach consultant clients who are not necessarily like that, but a lot of my clients are people who don't want to see pictures of you with your cocktail on a Friday night on LinkedIn.
And as you say that, I imagine that there's a whole bunch of people who are listening that are breathing a sigh of relief. And I might actually be one of them because I'm absolutely terrible at sharing personal content on LinkedIn. Like I just want to tell you about analytics all the time, right?
Yes.
This sort of thing is about as personal as I get. So you saying that and saying a lot of people going, oh, thank goodness I don't have to be fun. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, just like, honestly, how LinkedIn works best is get on there and share what you know most about in a way that helps other people. And they will be so grateful for it. And they will start to follow you because you become the person known for analytics. If I want to follow your, I don't know, cycle rides to the grocery store, I'll do that on Instagram if you're doing that.
Which I don't do very well at all. Anyway, enough about me. enough about me. So you've mentioned video, and that's really why I wanted to get you on, because you did a great session for our analytics day about video, and I know that's something you've been specializing in. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yes. So I am firmly both feet in promoting people doing video on LinkedIn. I think there's lots of different reasons for this, and this is how I generally operate. Like you've just heard my story about how I ended up working in the space of working with LinkedIn. I consider lots and lots of different options, but if you think about all the AI that is floating about at the minute, and we're trying to figure out, is that real? Is that, did they write that themselves? When you put a video of yourself speaking onto LinkedIn, for now, we know it's you. We know it's you. You come across, we connect with you. We connect visually far faster than we do with the written word. But the other thing with this is I have come up with this. I love a good acronym, Amanda. The COPE method of using video on LinkedIn, which is create once, publish everywhere. And what that looks like is I record a video with a client. So an example is a client, let's call her Lynn. Last week, we recorded an hour's worth of video, which we will turn into 8 video posts for LinkedIn. But it doesn't stop there. We then take the transcript from that and we write a blog post. That blog post goes out on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn newsletter. We cut that blog post up into short written pieces for LinkedIn. We have the 8 videos for LinkedIn. Then we are now moving into also repurposing that video onto YouTube. Clients are embedding the videos onto their website along with the written blog post. So it is create one piece of video content and do as much as you can with it. And we don't put it on other social media platforms, but we give the clients the video and they are putting it on to their other social media platforms as well. So it's just such a it's that key pillar piece of content that you can take and chop up as many ways as you want and repurpose. And you don't just stop with, we create a whole month's worth of content from that 1 hour, but you could in 6 months' time pull those videos back up again and repurpose them and share them with a different angle in the post. So just keep using and using and using. And clients love it because it only takes an hour of their time in the month. So it's like, oh, okay, we need to market, we need to create marketing collateral. What do we do? Well, you give me an hour of your time and we will create a month's worth of content. Like what business doesn't want that? But also LinkedIn loves video. I don't know if you've seen yet that they have got a new vertical video stream. If you're listening in North America, I think it's in Canada as well as US right now, there is a whole brand new news feed in LinkedIn for video. We don't have that news stream, but if you start watching a video on LinkedIn on your mobile and you scroll up, suddenly you are in, I think of it like in swimming, in swimming in lanes. Do you know if you go in the lazy river in a water park and you're coming in like the wee feeder lane and suddenly you get swooped along in the current of the main lazy river? So it's kind of like that. You're kind of swooped in. Once you start watching a video, you're swooped into this vertical video feed. So LinkedIn are really invested in video as well. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Now I'm going to roll back a little bit because I had a question came up when you were talking about your repurposing, because this is something I'm trying and I know probably a lot of other people are, because this is what we're told we should do, right? Yes. And I was really good at this when I did the digital coffee, but now I'm a bit stuck because I have this new show. I do the show. How do I is there a way that when you're recording that initial 1 hour video that you make sure there are actually going to be clips that are useful that you can cut out separately?
Yes. So this is so funny, Amanda, because, the cobbler's children have no shoes. I was talking to my operations manager last week and I said, oh, how are we going to promote this package? And she said, well, Louise, you've got to do it for yourself, for your own business. And I'm like, oh, okay. How's that going to work? Because with my clients, I'm the one prompting them with the questions. So I'm going to have to prompt myself. So what we do is if we have an hour and we want to get 8 videos out of that 1 hour, I have 8 questions. It's as simple as that. But we also, I don't know if you have seen StreamYard recently, Amanda, but oh my Lord, they have upped their game big time. So I have moved recording the video content into StreamYard, not for streaming live, which was originally, I think, what it was supposed to be doing. That is what I use for my live streams. But when you do a recording on StreamYard now, it will generate the 5 best clips from your
Oh,
video for you. And they are under a minute long. And I have to say, they are really good at picking out really good clips to use. So that's something that I'm doing. And I would never have thought of doing StreamYard for this kind of work, except it's Mike Stelzner's fault. I was on the Social Media Examiner podcast and he says, "Oh, we use StreamYard now for these." And I was like, "Really? That's interesting." Um, and it was more to do with zooming in and out people, and you can have different focuses during the recording with it. But this generating of clips from the video, it's so easy to do. And it's really any little tool that can help you in that kind of way, I think, is just a bonus. So yeah, that's one way. But the initial way we do it is we have 8 questions, and the client knows in advance these are the 8 questions Louise is going to ask me, and I ask them, and then they answer them. I'm not in their videos, by the way. That's the other thing. It's just the client space, a talking head video. So if you have somebody in your team who can do this with you and prompt you on, that's probably the best way to keep track of, rather than just like talking and talking and talking for an hour and I'm thinking, well, what am I pulling out of this?
yeah, I definitely need to think of a structure for mine because I used Descript to pull out the clips and it pulled out some good clips, but they just weren't working in my edit. Anyway, that's a whole other thing because we want to talk about analytics. That's why we're here. I just thought, I
Yes.
know people have that question. I know people are struggling with that. If I am, then other people are, right? So all this video, it's okay, even if you're just spending an hour recording a video and hiring somebody to do all the repurposing like you, that's still a time investment and it's a money investment. So you want to know
Yeah,
it's working. And that's the thing
of
with
course.
everything we do. Like back in the day when I first started, maybe when you first started, we just put content up and cared about reach. But times have changed, right? So how do we measure the success of this?
Okay, so if you forgive me, video watchers, I'm going to get my actual data on my phone so I can give you an example. So I did an experiment on comparing LinkedIn newsletter, LinkedIn video, and LinkedIn, a YouTube video, because I wanted to see if I'm creating this content and I'm putting it out there, where am I getting the most bang for my buck from? So I'm just going to share some of those stats with you guys now, okay? So the LinkedIn newsletter, I have over 5,000 subscribers. So if you don't know what a LinkedIn newsletter is, by the way, it is you can create one on your company page and you can create one on your personal profile. When you first publish it, everybody in your network is invited to subscribe to it. And I try to publish one every Sunday. And you pull in different pieces. It has to be interesting for people to read, basically. So of my newsletter that I published, 5,328 subscribers, 673 people read the newsletter in the last week. So that was great. Then YouTube video comparison. At this stage, I had 53,504 subscribers. Of that, 38,564 people had watched one of my videos in the last 7 days. Like, that's a massive amount of people. If you think the newsletter, 673 people read it. The video on YouTube, 38,564. Now, that's not just one video. Of course, I didn't do this on one video. Then I posted a video on LinkedIn, and in 2 days, I had 558 views in 2 days. So
And that was
that
on
was
one video.
that was one video, yeah. So how a view is counted on LinkedIn video is if someone watches it for more than 2 seconds, right? So like, well, like Louise. But if you think about that, when people are scrolling and they just zip past your video, that's not counted. So 200 people scrolled right on past. So it was shown to 558 views in 2 days, and it was shown to 792 people. Okay. So I think that the video content, so you've got the views, and the other thing is you watch them over time because they increase. So that's interesting as well. On LinkedIn, if I went to that same video now, it would be watched by a lot more people. It's not like you publish it and it's gone. If you look at somebody's personal LinkedIn profile or their company page, video has its own tab on your profile. So if someone wants to go, like while you're listening to us, go to LinkedIn and look me up, Louise Brogan, and you'll see. So newsletter is set to the first thing that you see in my content, but there's also a tab that says video. And if you click on that, you'll see just my LinkedIn videos. So people kind of go through them like a little library. So it's not like other social media where if I put a video up on, say, Instagram or something, it's kind of gone. People aren't going and looking at it. So I think that's really powerful. And also thinking about people who watch video on LinkedIn, they're really interested in the topic because, as you say, there's a lot of stuff on LinkedIn. There's a lot of fun stuff on LinkedIn. So for 550 people to want to watch my video, which will have been talking about something to do with LinkedIn, it won't have been like, me trying a unicycle and falling off or something silly.
Although
So
we
there
would
was
like to see that.
because I would fall off. So it's really specific. And for someone who has been focused on LinkedIn since 2018, you might go to my profile and go, oh, she's only got like 13,000 followers or subscribe or people in her network. I'm not here for 100,000 people on LinkedIn. I'm here for people who want to learn in the way I teach on LinkedIn. So again, that's another piece of analytics that I think is really important. You know, the people with the largest following might not necessarily be giving you the advice that would be tailored to you and your business in a way that you want. So there's lots of moving parts in the LinkedIn analytics. Um, I do like to see my LinkedIn newsletter subscriber base increase because usually in that newsletter, I will embed videos into the newsletter as well. But in that newsletter, it will be focused on a specific message, and there is always a link to book an inquiry to talk about whatever I've talked about. So if I've talked about why I use LinkedIn video, or this week I wrote about uh, how to repurpose your video content, or I think I did actually talk about capsule podcasts as well. How to create a piece of content and create multiple pieces of content out of it. And at the bottom of that, there'll be an invitation to work with me. And that, at the end of the day, is what matters is, are you getting leads? Are the right people signing up to book a call to talk about your products and services? And where are they coming from? In my inquiry form, it asks you to say, where did you hear about this? And you click YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you've heard about me as well. And those are the key things that I'm measuring. Like, where is the effort that I'm putting out? Where am I getting the return on that time spent that is leading to inquiries that are leading to opportunities to work together?
And that's great, because I think, with obviously I love all the tools, I love analytics, I love all that, but you cannot be asking on your form where people heard from, because what with cookies and everything, very often we don't know. As good as analytics is, whatever platform you use, whether it's Google or something else, there's going to be a certain amount of information you lose. So I think that's a really important step to have that in your form. Mm-hmm. And even if you don't want to delve into analytics and UTMs, that's something everyone should be doing. Bringing it back a little bit, so you're telling me like the process that we go through, which is great. Is there a value in 2-second video views? And what is that value?
I would say it is about visibility and awareness. Don't they say that it takes 9 or 10 touches for someone to become interested enough to want to reach out to work with you? So there's analytics, Amanda, and then there's real life where people meet you and say, oh, you're my LinkedIn newsfeed all the time. And that is to do with video, because they're not talking about the posts. They're talking about when they see my face on video. So yes, I do think there is value in that. I think that we're all busy. Like, I don't watch loads of videos online. This is the irony. I do podcasting and I do writing and I do video. And how do I learn? If I want to learn something, I want to read it. I usually find people through podcasts. And then if I want to really learn something, I tend to want to read it, even though my own content goes out mainly as video. I don't know if that's like, I'm sure it's not abnormal for a lot of people.
No,
Um,
it's not. I'm kind of the same, except for when it's something like I wanted to fix my bike at the weekend, and I do have books and manuals. But sometimes you need to see it on a video to know how to
oh
do it
yes.
properly. And sometimes with analytics, it's the same. I need to watch someone's video. But yeah, totally there. And I'm also totally there. I was challenging you, but not in a difficult way, because I know the answer, right? People see your
Yeah.
face, they get to know you, they get to know they
Yeah.
want to work with you, even if it's for 2 seconds. And you do get that when you go to events. People, as somebody who's been visible on video a lot, I always get people that will say they know me for video or feel like they know me because they've seen me on video. So I just
Yes.
kind of wanted to say to people, a 2 second video view, that's more important than I kind of like dissed reach earlier. I also think reach is sometimes important, but that's another day's discussion. But I totally, a 2 second video view is worthwhile. It's you, it's your moving face. And it
Yes.
is at least 2 seconds as well. It's not all those
Yes.
500 whatever views you got were exactly 2 seconds.
And I remember because I used to be a swimmer, and my coach, they used to say, how do you count? Because you had to you count in your head when you're swimming, when you're in a competitive swimming environment, and it's 1,001, 1,002. That's actually, it's not like one, two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1,001, 1,002. That's enough to pop up on screen and someone to go, oh, she's there talking about LinkedIn again. Right, I'm off to meet my friend for a muffin and a coffee now. But then when someone says, oh, we need help with our LinkedIn, and they'll say, oh, that's what Louise Brogan talks about on LinkedIn. Have you seen her stuff? So it is long enough to be noticed, I think. Like, can I just say a lot of people watch them for a lot more than 2 seconds?
Yes, exactly. Some people are watching all the way through. It's just that's the minimum amount of time they've watched for.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Is there anything else metrics wise that LinkedIn offers us around our video views or just
Yes.
videos in general?
Yeah, no, they definitely do. Again, I'm going to pull up on my mobile just to because I want to get this right for you guys. And you can cut out my delays on the script if you
I'm
want.
going to put a clap.
Right, let's just get. Uh-uh. Sorry, this is just something went wrong. That's not very
Your
handy.
internet's not happy. Doing too much.
Yes. Well, Sarah might be upstairs streaming something as well. Mm-mm. Right, okay, hold on. I'm going to pull up on my computer, Amanda. One sec.
Yeah, that's okay. Give me a warning. I'll do another clap and then I'll be able to cut out the whole
Okay.
section.
Mhm. All right, I'm just going to look at the screen when I'm talking as opposed to looking at the camera. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe you can just say that once I've done my clap and then people who are watching on YouTube. I don't know if anyone's even going to watch on YouTube, but there we go.
All right. Okay, so I'm just while Amanda and I are talking about this, I wanted to pull up the screen just to walk through it, not on the video on YouTube, which if you're watching us on YouTube, hello. But on your video analytics, you've got your impressions and your unique views. Your impressions are the numbers of time that LinkedIn has served your video up to your audience. So I'm just looking at another video that I've got that is under a minute long that posted 1 week ago, and it has 1,262 impressions. and 756 unique views. So the impressions, it served it to 1,200 people. And out of that, 756 people watched enough of it to be recorded. It then says that's 160 minutes viewed. So actually, for that video, because it is under 1 minute long, that means 160 people may have watched the whole thing, or else maybe out of the 560 views, people watched at least half of it. It doesn't tell you exactly that. The other thing it gives you is the top video viewer demographics. So I think this is really important to who is actually watching my video. And if I look at that, 10% are founders, 8% executive directors, 7% business owners. It'll also tell me the top demographics. So mine are Belfast, London, Dublin, and then Manchester. And then it will also tell me companies if that's available. So then it says, who viewed your profile since this post? Now, I find this really interesting because it actually gives me people's names, which I'm not going to read out on the podcast. These are second level connections who have looked at my profile since this post. And out of that, one of them actually looks like somebody who would be a perfect client for me. So then I would go in and I would send that person a connection request and say, hello, remember my example earlier was somebody called Lynn. This person's also called Lynn. So, hi, Lynn. I would look at their profile first and I'd see what we had in common and then maybe send them a LinkedIn connection request. So it's always worth going in and looking at your actual, that's on the individual analytics on the individual video post. So who's looking at you? Where are they? And are they your ideal client? And when it names those people who've gone, so they've seen the post and they've gone to look at my profile and it's related to that video post, of those people, are there any of those people who fit my target ideal client? And one of those people does, and that would be somebody I would reach out to. And to me, Amanda, that is like a really, really strong lead. The other two guys look like they are I get bombarded is not quite the right word, but I get a regular influx of people who are video editors going, hi, Louise, I looked at your channel. This is everything that's wrong with it. Would you like us to help you?
We could get, I'm not getting into this conversation now, but I had something like that happen recently. I just blocked the person. It was like, oh yeah, insult me. That's going to work. Yes.
Well, people are being taught this. So I was listening to a podcast this morning and someone was talking about this. It's a book. It's called Recession Proof Your Business. And this is what you do. And this guy's literally saying, reach out to somebody and tell them 3 things that you can fix for them for free. And then they'll hire you. And it's going, don't think that really works with me. Maybe that works in different cultures.
Yeah, doesn't work with me either. Just in case anyone's thinking of leaving a comment.
Please don't.
Anyway, as I said, so I love this. Why I love this is because, yeah, we can go, woohoo, I got all these video views, but we can actually see what percentage of those video views are relevant. Even if they're not like a direct customer, are they even falling into the right industry? Are they the sort of people that might pass your information on? And then how many of those are actual potential clients that you could follow up with. So it's not just a 2-second video view. There's so much more we can see out of it. And because they've seen you on video for 2 seconds, when you do message them, they're going to feel like they have that stronger connection. Like, I'm a big advocate of video for exactly that reason.
And the other thing, Amanda, is LinkedIn is definitely a long game. So here's another example of a real story I'm currently in, and by the time this podcast is aired, hopefully I'll be working with this person. So I have been in the same online community with a person for probably as long as I've known you, actually, and they were working for themselves, and now they've gone into a role working as a like a global marketing lead role. And they've been watching me on LinkedIn, and they reached out to me and said, Louise, our CEO needs some help with LinkedIn, and da 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 da. How have they come across me? Because I am so visible on LinkedIn through my video content. And we've had the first sales call, we've got a second sales call coming up, and I'm feeling really so positive about this potential work together, because they have known me and followed me and been connected to me for 6 or 7 years. Now, I'm not saying if you start doing video on LinkedIn today, it's going to take you 6 years to land clients.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not. Uh, in fact, one of my clients who is based in China found me on YouTube, reached out to me, and we started working together within a month. So, of course, it happens that way as well. But there's something to be said for building a network of value on LinkedIn. And that to me, that is some people who, if you went out to a conference, you would love being in that network of people. You would have stuff to talk about. You'd be interested in what they had to say. They potentially could be a source of leads for you or people that you might refer your clients to. And that's the kind of network I have built up on LinkedIn. So people who connect with me or send me connection requests who look like they're about to try and sell me their services that I haven't asked for, I just don't connect with them. I'm quite happy to say no, reject that connection request. And when you do that and you're consistent in showing up and talking about your area of expertise, then people just refer you business and reach out to you and say, can we have a chat about your services, or can you help our company with XYZ? And that to me is that's why LinkedIn is really powerful. But as long as you use it in that way. So you're more cautious is not the word, but more thoughtful
Strategic.
about strategic about how you're using it, who you're connecting with, and what you're showing up and talking about. So yes, of course, I could talk about, you know, fabulous, exciting things going on in my personal life, but would that actually drive me any business? The other thing, I had a discussion with somebody recently, with a group of people recently, about negative posts on LinkedIn. So where people are like, exposing someone else for doing this, that, or the other. And I might know those things go on, but nobody wants to work with me if all I do is complain about stuff as well. So again, be strategic in how you're using this platform. What do you actually want to be hired for, or what work do you want to do, and show up and talk about that stuff, and the work will start to come.
Great. And I am also an advocate of this. I know it works, so definitely try. And definitely, though, I do think you need to keep an eye on the things like the metrics to make sure you are reaching the right people, because sometimes we can just end up thinking we're doing great and then realizing that we're reaching all the wrong people. That's happened to me in the past.
Yeah, but that's the people that LinkedIn is showing my video to will be based off of the network that I've already built. That's the other thing as well. So if you like, when I looked at those video analytics there that I just talked through a minute ago, um, if that was saying that all of those people were, I don't know, voiceover artists, I'd be thinking, what am I doing wrong here? Why am I?
Yes.
I have lots of lovely voiceover artists in my network because I did do a session with them a couple of years ago. Nothing wrong with voiceover artists; they're amazing. Digging myself out of a hole here. But I want to work with people who are the decision makers in a business. And when you look at the job titles of the people who are watching my videos, that fits. So it's really important to check that you're not just sharing loads of content out to people who are very lovely and supportive, but are never going to work with you.
So that's great. That's one takeaway. Check who's watching. The other takeaway I had is definitely your form, because I'm into this. I'm kind of going, do I have that on my form? No. But definitely you need to track down. I will always ask on a call, where did you hear about me from? For various different reasons. Like, yes, I want to know what's working, but also sometimes affiliate links don't work properly. And I want to make sure that everyone who sends me affiliate traffic is getting paid correctly, so there's always that as well. Analytics doesn't do that all the time. It does it some of the time, but because of cookies and ad blockers and all sorts of things, it's important to ask that question. Thirdly, you gave me a tool. I told you I was going to ask for a tool, but you gave me a tool, which is StreamYard. I'm a big e-camera person, so I'm not moving, but it does sound enticing. I love the fact that it automatically picks that stuff up for you. And I think you have another tool suggestion, which I may have already mentioned.
Yeah, so when we use StreamYard, we don't stop there. We then go to Descript. And StreamYard actually is starting to do the edit by transcript as well. So watch this space. But we go to Descript to, like, as an aside, Amanda, what do you think about Descript's name for their AI being Underlord?
I was going to say that. I was going to say at the end, I absolutely love it. It's like every time I see it, it makes me smile, because I often talk about in like, in amusement, I talk about AI overlords. I don't really, buy into the whole they're taking over the whole world thing. I just for
Yeah.
fun. But yes, I love it. AI underlord from Descript.
It makes me think that there is definitely a company that's created by lots of bros, actually. But
Or
yeah,
people
we
like
use
me. I'm not a bro.
no, you're not a bro. I love the script for how it takes away, it's so easy, takes away the ums and the ahs and you edit everything by the words. I think that is fantastic. It has got something, I haven't used this yet, where it's supposed to do, and I'm not sure I want to do it. It's meant to track your eyes so that
Oh,
you
I saw that. Yeah, I haven't done
that
it either.
you- that your eyes are looking into the camera. So I don't know if that means you have to record it and it pulls your. I don't know. It's a bit weird. So I haven't done that. But the other bits I think are really good. It is not as good as picking out the best bits as StreamYard is so far for me. But yeah, no, I love both those tools. I also have another tool that I use, and that's Adobe Premiere Rush. And I'm sure that somebody who has probably got qualifications in graphics and media will be going, "Oh, Louise, you can do all of that in one tool, all those things you're talking about." But you learn how you learn, and you like the things you like. Um, but yeah, Premiere Rush we use, and that's where we put in like the fade screen at the start and the divider bit that says, "Oh, here's the next chapter," blah blah blah. So yeah, that's another tool as well that I use. But
Cool.
yeah, so StreamYard, Script, and Premiere Rush are three tools we use on our video content at the minute.
Fabulous. Now, time for our quick fire round. And you're the first person to answer, so everyone else's answers come after you.
Okay.
Data, data, or data?
Oh Lord. Okay, so I did a master's in computing and information systems, and and that's where I met my husband, and we can't agree on this. So a database, but I'm using data, so I do both. Sorry.
I do sometimes say data almost by accident because I'm definitely a data person. But I think it's because we just have so many influences now. We hear American voices, we hear English voices, and there's somebody I don't even know where he's from. I watch his YouTube videos and he's called Loves Dada. And it's like, I don't even know where that comes from. He's not English. He may be Australian or New Zealand. Or South Africa. I'm just terrible at accents. So I understand where you come from, but I'm
Yes.
definitely at heart a data person.
So the other word that I used to have a real problem with this was the word king. I used to always say keen and queen. And I think that actually from where I live, because other people do it too, I say keen and queen, and I'd be going, why am I saying keen? It's not keen, it's king. And then the word Chicago. My daughter's like, Mom, it's not Chicago, it's Chicago. And I'm like, why do I just call it Chicago? So
I
apologies
think I'm
to
with
anybody
you
who
on
lives in
Chicago, but I'm definitely not with
Chicago,
you in King and
right?
Queen. King,
I
Queen.
know, it's weird.
But that's
So I'm saying
that's
to
like
ask to
regional
ask me
differences, right?
to ask me for data or data because I use both.
Cookies. When a website asks you for cookies, do you dunk or delete?
It depends what the website is.
What would stop you?
Um, oh, that's such a good question. If I'm looking for something, just a quick look for something that I'm not normally looking for, then I reject them. I also, this sounds really weird. It's how they ask. Would I would say yes or no. If it's a company like, no, it's not a company like if it's a National Trust, I'd probably accept. It doesn't even make
Is
any
it
sense.
because
My
they have
decisions
the
don't
word
make.
trust in their name? There you go.
I don't know. My answers don't make any sense to any logically minded person. You're not going to discount everything I said in this podcast.
Okay, final question, but I kind of know the answer to this after our discussion. AI or no AI?
Oh yeah, we're using AI.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if you are running a marketing business in 2024, you have got to be using AI or you will get left behind so fast, honestly. And saying that, Amanda, like we write content for our clients for LinkedIn, and it's a human writer that writes it. And then we take it to AI and say, I love this. So it's how you prompt everything, isn't it? And I say, could you please make light edits on this and please highlight the changes that you want to make? And then I'll review them, So it literally will be in a paragraph of maybe 20 words. It might just change like 2 words. And it just reads a little bit better. So yeah, absolutely. And using the AI to generate, what are the best clips from this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, absolutely.
So now I feel like, because you're the first person I've asked this question, companion question, ChatGPT, Gemini or Claude?
I have only used ChatGPT out of those three.
Well, there you go. You're a chat. I don't think it matters. I use ChatGPT and Gemini basically because I do training for Google. I started on Gemini and they do kind of give you different results. I haven't used Claude yet.
I did dabble in Claude because I think Anne Handley, who writes an amazing fortnightly newsletter, she mentioned it. So I went off to look at it. But yeah, I have the paid version of ChatGPT and I find it really useful. So, it's one of those things, isn't it? If you start shopping in a particular shop and you like it, it's really hard to get people to change where they start. So it's like winning hearts and minds at the start. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Great. Okay. So now is the time for you to tell us more about you, what you do and where we can find you.
Absolutely. So you can find me on LinkedIn at Louise Brogan. You can find me on louisebrogan.com and you could come and join me over on YouTube because my whole channel there, it's called Raise Your Visibility Online rather than LinkedIn, because actually I talk about other stuff on there too, how to use Calendly and booking software and stuff. And I have a free download for anybody who would like to know a little bit more about using video on LinkedIn or LinkedIn in general. And you can grab that if you go to louisebrogan.com/that analytics show.
Woohoo! Love it. Love it. I feel. And of course, you'll get all those links. I'm not even call them show notes because I'm writing a big blog post on this. I'm using AI to help me.
Fabulous.
So you'll get them in the blog post and that should translate into show notes once I've worked out how that works. So thanks for joining us. Absolutely delighted to have you, Louise. Have a fabulous day. And
thank you so much for inviting me.
And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
All right. See you soon. Bye.
I think that was good. Do you think it was good? I'm happy.
Yes. Yes.
We went a little bit long, but I don't care.
Check exactly what I was saying because then I came out with better stuff.
Yeah, that was cool. And it all seemed to work. Can I stop recording from here if I pause?